Welcome, you have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be Chucky TV series, Season 2, Episode 6, He is Risen Indeed. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. So this episode was just pushing the story forward. I don't know where they're going with this series, man. I would be shocked if they get a Season 3. I think this is the end. They just doing whatever. Because last episode, we seen that Andy was still alive. We met some bald head Chucky named the Colonel, and his name was Charles. And then we seen that the bodybuilding Chucky came back to life, and then the nurse thought he was the second coming. And then we get to this episode. So the Colonel speaks to the psychiatrist woman who recommended that Jake, Lexi, and Devin go to that reform biblical school. And that that Charles Lee Ray used to go to when he was younger. So she's there with the Colonel, and pretty much he tells her he wants to kill the kids and he needs her to take her to the school. She agrees. Meanwhile, he's a cannibal and he's eating Andy's leg. So she takes him to the school. Meanwhile, Lexi and Devin break in and save Andy, and Andy tells them, take me to the school. So also was on the flip side, you have Glenn, who's with Nico and Kyle, and they have a mission to transfer Nico and Charles Lee Ray out of Nico's body so they could be split. But they need Charles Lee Ray's spirit to go into another body. So that's the plan. Meanwhile, back at the school, you have bodybuilding Chucky, who's being pampered by the nurse. You have bald head Chucky, who's the Colonel, who's coming to go to war with the kids. Andy shows up with Lexi and Devin, and it's a bunch of unnecessary dialogue. And at some moment, out of nowhere, you see. So it's a really weird episode. At one moment, you seen the nun who was tending to the bodybuilding Chucky, and then she took him out. The very next scene, you seen him in a standoff with the Colonel, the bald head Chucky. So they're in the standoff, and you think they're going to battle. One has the knife, one has a machete. Colonel has a machete, and so the bodybuilding Chucky basically he ready to take him on. But he was eating a tablet, and the tablet was poisoning, and he just croaked. And pretty much the Colonel was like, brains is, better than bronze at any time. Meanwhile, Andy has a pair of scissors that he stole. They act like he was a homeless man, and they was bringing them back. And so all the kids, Lexi, Nadine, Jake and Devin, and then supposedly the good Chucky was all waiting for the Colonel to arrive, and they was gonna fight him. When the Colonel showed up, he started mumbling, and before you know it, he had a pair of scissors in his head. So he died, and it was just like, what was the point of that? There was no battle. He died the very next episode. They just seem like they just throwing stuff together right quick to hurry up and get the season over. So now you have the psychiatrist. She wants to get the good Chucky and basically tell him, we got one last mission for you. So she calls Kyle and them, tell Kyle and them, we need you to bring Nico up here. So the mission is to transfer Charles Lee Ray out of Nico and transfer into this Chucky doll, which is supposed to be the original doll. The father sees everybody and the psychiatrist shoots the other nun. This is just chaos going all over. She shoots the other nun. The good Chucky runs off and runs up in the attic. Meanwhile, Nadine is supposed to be his godmother, and she runs after her, but the door locks behind her. So you already knew something was going to happen behind her. So Lexi, Devin, and Jake is trying to break through the door. When she goes up, the good Chucky is pretty much saying, "Hey, I don't deserve you guys." You know, basically saying I'm bad. She said, "No, you were baptized. You're good." So you know, Nadine pretty much been innocent this whole time or whatever. So, like I said, the season, it lacked the killing from the first season. So, when she went to go grab the good Chucky, he turned into the bad Chucky and just took and launched her out. Like, you ever seen what angels could do? And she was like, "No, what?" And he tossed her out the window. He said, "Fly." Of course, she died after that. Meanwhile, Lexi came up right after he tossed her out the window. And Lexi stood there right next to him. Jake and Devin came up, and he pretty much, then he flipped the switch into good Chucky and said, "What did I do?" So it was just like ridiculous, bro. This is ridiculous. So I don't know. This is like where you said that when I went, episode 5 was a better episode. This basically regressed again to another like bad episode. I would be shocked if this gets a season 3 or whatever, because it's just like, all right, we made our money off of season 1. We got some money in a budget to do season 2, and we just gonna push through it, put something together. People gonna tune in just because, and collect. Bad episode so far. This whole series is a failure, and it's got a D performance so far. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, save your time from watching the series. Just come back here and watch these reviews and save your time. Till next time.